This is the IMA Podcast, the official podcast of the Independent Media Association, hosted by myself, Abla Candelaft, and Thomas Barlow.
Hello.
Hello. So,
Hi.
finally, we've sat down and done this. What do you want to first talk about this week? What's the most
We
pressing topic?
we've got a few bits and bobs. Hopefully, some people might even see this on TikTok. We might even cut it up and put it on TikTok. If not this one, then we will do it in future. So that's what we should open with. We should talk about TikTok,
Yes.
because we did a TikTok workshop this week with Cloud Fior, who is the communications officer of the IMA, also social media manager and communications officer for Bywire News, who are a member of the IMA and have supported us a load. And more importantly, someone who's actually gone viral a few times, has a few videos with a few million views each, on top of generally a good record in building up Bywire News's own TikTok channel from naught to a few thousand. So we won't cover the whole workshop. It's posted on the website. You can check out the link there, and we sent it out to all IMA members. But there's a couple of big questions that people are asking, and I think those are good to chat about. I think people were talking about, like, okay, will TikTok work for independent media?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my first response to that is Facebook and Instagram aren't going to any longer. Like that's so I do think independent media who've been relying on those are going to have to work a pivot. But Twitter's still probably the best platform for news. But TikTok can work in a bunch of different ways. And again, if you watch the workshop, you can learn some of the techniques and stuff like that to make it work. But the good thing about it is it's relatively simple to do something pretty good. Get your phone, talk to it. It's human storytelling. It's actually what journalism was supposed to be, a way of sharing information about the world, telling ourselves stories. But originally it was written down once the printing press came around and all of this. But actually writing is actually a bit, it's a bit closed to a lot of the population. And us telling our stories, even just going, oh, we've done this big story today, you've got to check it out on our website, but here's the headline. Think of it like an article. Every article has a headline. It does something that grabs the attention. You can do that in 30 seconds on your phone, and it doesn't need to be this crazy amount of effort. So that's good.
What did you find the question? What was the question that came up the most?
Will it work for us? Like what?
Right.
So it was sort of a variety of things. If you're an organization that gets a load of money from grant funders, then probably TikTok is going to be worthwhile for you, because you're going to be able to. It's got really great analytics. It's going to reach a bigger audience. It's the biggest downloaded app of last year, and I think the year before. It's the biggest growing platform on the internet by a long distance in the UK. And so you're going to be able to show your grant funders we're reaching new demographics, we're reaching broader ones, and we're doing things in new ways. And, again, a little bit of effort's going to get you a bit of reward. But then people are asking, like, are click-throughs, are you going to get click-throughs onto your email list or YouTube subscribers, things like that? And the honest answer is we don't know. There's not many organizations that use TikTok in a brilliant way. There's a lot of individuals who use it well. And there's a few organizations that do really well, like Politics Joe. You see a few independent media organizations like Novara, Evolve, stuff like that. And so if you run a podcast or vidcast, TikTok's a really good one. Put up some clips. It's going to get people excited about your podcast.
You can't just put audio on, I presume, right?
Yeah.
It's purely video.
Yeah. Though you could, no, to be fair though, you can watch videos where they've just put like a computer game going on the back screen, and it's a computer reading out Reddit threads. Like they're massively popular. Like, so again, if you've got written articles, you can get a program. I put a video that on the IMA profile on TikTok that shows you this simple program. You copy and paste the article into there, and it'll read it in pretty human voice as well. It's not like very stilted. You can even learn your own voice as well if you give it a couple of days worth of recordings and do it in your voice. So then you just put up a picture and let it read it out. Again, you can really automate these processes and put out videos. But as we say in the podcast, do stuff where you're responding to comments, do stuff where you're stitching, i.e. Taking a video from another creator and responding to it, right, or reacting to it. You know, use the platform as it's meant to be. It's supposed to be a conversation as well as storytelling. It's not just one to
Yeah.
many, you know. But yeah, the big one, is it going to work for us? Is it going to help us raise money? You know, because it's going to be a big investment of time. For some, yes, if you get
Well,
grant
that's
funding,
it.
if you work with small advertisers, it may work. If you're relying on email lists and donors, we don't know. We genuinely don't know. But I think it might be worth taking a risk if you approach it systematically and put in a few months and see where you are in two,
Yeah.
3 months' time. But
Well, that's the
I
problem.
think
It
there's a
sounds
lot goes
quite
there.
time consuming. I think that's the biggest hurdle because you need to edit, you need to cut things, you need to format them, you need to post them, you need to keep on top of them, and then you need to comment, etc. So that takes up a lot of time.
Yeah, I think you shouldn't set yourself crazy targets. So to become a viral TikToker, right? Like they
Mhm.
say, like do 3 videos a day. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Pardon my French. That's crazy.
Well, that's
Like that's a
professional
lot.
level.
Yeah, yeah. Like if you just keep pumping them out and you're going to learn stuff and you're going to learn by doing and blah blah blah. You could do one a week. You can, you know, you could do one a week to your phone and just chat about stuff. And then you might go, okay, I've kind of got that down. You do learn by doing. Do
Mhm.
5, 10, few weeks, and then maybe switch up to 2 a week, or maybe start going, I'm going to do one video in response to a comment as well as one video give yourself some time. Don't like try and do it all in one go. You're going to learn by doing. You don't have to become viral immediately, you know,
Yeah.
and you're probably not going to become viral. But what you could do is build up slowly but surely an audience like you have on previous platforms in previous places.
So where are we able to find the recording for those of us
uh
who missed it?
It's on ima.press. You
Okay.
can check it in the it's our latest post, and it's also on the IMA YouTube. It's our latest video, and it has links to loads of good articles and videos in the description as well.
Great. Well, I've heard some really good feedback
Yeah, it was
from
good.
colleagues. So brilliant. Well, so that was TikTok. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about? Do you want to touch on anything discussed as a
Yeah, so we had a
board?
cool
As
board meeting, haven't we? So there's a few things from the board meeting that are worth bringing up. We're having a strategy session next week, Friday one-ish, Friday the I want to say 1st of July, um,
Mhm.
midday, I think, to talk about how we can do collaborative projects together, you know, as members. And so we're going to start that road. We've just got to get a strategy in place. It's the summer. We'll build that up. Secondly, there's been a lot of talk about like the online safety bill, about a lot of stuff that's being attacking independent media, and the media is an industry altogether, coming from the government, coming from so-called other journalists. The IMA has put out a couple of statements in the past couple of weeks, but we recognise we want more rapid response, not only from the IMA, but to bring members together. We know it's a hot
Yeah.
topic for some members and not for others. So we've got a WhatsApp group set up, and we're going to post that in the WhatsApp group and out via email in the next few days. Encourage everyone to get on it and start talking so that you can keep each other informed and go, okay, cool, we need to respond to this. Let's try and do it together. It's good to make sure that, as well as talking about the topics we cover, we talk about the media, because it's going to affect our sector, but also it's going to affect our ability to change and inform the world in the way that we want to as independent media, and to challenge power, which I think everyone's on board with trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, what recent issues have come about really for the independent sector?
Well, yeah, as I say, there's the online safety bill that's coming through from the government, which kind of, you know, it's supposed to protect journalists' safety online, and some of that's
Yeah.
welcome, because there is a lot of abuse uh, aimed at journalists, and you know, it's become a less secure and less safe profession. But there are things that are being brought in there that are actually threats to journalism, you know, and there are elements to that need to be challenged. And I think if you follow the work of Hacked Off, who are on the board of the IMA, and also, you know, just generally top end of this in the Media Reform Coalition, you can get a lot of good stuff. And it's, again, worth taking that time. But also we've seen, you know, former BBC and Channel 4 journalists such as Paul Mason make statements that are very concerning to members, you know, because um, you know, some people might say that some of the outlets that he named in his attacks on independent
Mhm.
media, and saying that they needed to be deplatformed and defunded, uh, might not be the most respected or regulated of platforms, and we won't make any comment on those, but they also include members and other organizations that we know are regulated by Impress, and Impress is the highest standard regulator in the UK. So for Paul Mason to do that, for other journalists to do that and to support that, we've obviously expressed our concern in official statements, and I think as a sector, or certainly independent media, needs to be aware of that and talking about that, and coming to which Declassified UK have done a really great series this week of interviews with Jeremy Corbyn, workshops and stuff like that have been talking about the threats to press freedom here and around the world, but especially actually in the UK, where we're not expecting it or thinking about it.
Yeah.
And lots of members have mentioned to me how good that's been, so I've got to
Yeah, they're
share it
very
with the world.
thorough. Yeah.
Yeah, get on Declassified UK.
You can find
Excellent,
that on
excellent members.
find
Yeah,
them on their YouTube channel.
yeah, definitely. So those are a couple of things. There's the Centre of Investigative Journalism are doing a summer conference. So never has it been more important to be good at investigative journalism. Check them out, 29th to 30th of June in Goldsmiths. And I think the last thing is about our friends over the pond. I've been meeting with some
Yes.
American organizations.
Chicago,
and an organization based in Kansas, I
right.
want to say. Oh
Can you
dear.
say more? A
I just can't
collaboration on the
remember where they're
cards,
from.
or
Yeah,
no,
no. So
not
the
yet?
Chicago organization, the Chicago Independent Media Alliance, a fantastic organization, represent around 60 independent media organizations in Chicago, which is brilliant, right? And really what they do is they do what like our forebears, the Media Fund, did, is bring organizations purely to fundraise once a year for a 1 month fundraiser. They built a brilliant website to do it. They've done it successfully for a couple of years and now have funding for a position to permanently organize that, along with a lot of workshops and trainings. And they're very excited by what we do and are learning from us, but also they've done some things that we wanted to do with the Media Fund far better than we have, because they were well funded. Plus they also got grant funders to match fund what they raised, so they managed to raise $80,000 each time, which is good. Like,
What,
I
purely
think,
from members and just the general public?
yeah, from the general public.
Right.
And then they got match funding, which is brilliant. So that we forwarded around to board members the reports and stuff like that they sent us. If you're interested in that stuff, let us know, and it's something that we, the IMA, might look at, because we've now got a bit of funding to apply to projects. So we'll be presenting a sort of budget report, which sounds boring, but it's about like how we can do shit for you. So like, look out for it when we pump it out there. So yeah, that's the main stuff. I'm just really stoked about the US, and the Independent Media Association in the US is actually a journalistic organization, but they want to set up a sister organization to ourselves and build across the US and build locally what we've got going on here. So onwards and upwards towards a global federation of independent media. That's what we're building.
That's the next step.
That's the next step. So it's really exciting. It's good to speak to people also, because a lot of the work that goes on behind the scenes is administrative and it's kind of boring. It's not something, everyone's got their own stuff to get on with. So it's great that, for me personally, I've got some people to chat to, and they've got some people to chat to, go, how are we supposed to do this? I don't understand. Got someone to chinwag to about that. So that's great. The board is looking really good as well at the IMA now. It's thorough. It's well established, a good collection of experience and capabilities. So things are looking good. Keep watching this space.
Great. Well, that's a fantastic and efficient recap. It's pretty exhaustive.
Yeah, I'm exhausted as well. So
And it's lunchtime.
Bloody lunchtime. I need to eat. It's time to eat. Yes, my favorite point of the day. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Thanks, Tom.
Lovely. Have a good
Until
one,
next
everyone.
time.
And we'll see you next time, whenever that is. We don't know.
This was the IMA podcast. Find out more about our work at ima.press. Thank you for listening.